Alright, in this video, I'm gonna go over exactly how you can become a freaking machine. And I want to compare this, right? I want to compare this from the old self where we are currently right now, where you are probably currently right now. To be honest, I'm gonna first of all speak like I'm speaking to my old self in this video. And I know how retarded, how stupid, and how lost my old self was. And I'm not saying that you're freaking like you're like super lost and whatever, but I know that my old self was so lost to the point where he genuinely didn't know what else to do with his life. He wanted to show and prove to others how freaking crazy he is, how much freaking aura he has and how much whatever he has, but he never could get himself to do the work. He can never get himself to do the hard work, and he can never get himself to stick to something for long enough to the point where he has completely transformed his life. There are so many instances where you see someone fully transforming their lives, and 6 7 months after they transform, people are making fun of them. People are like, "Yo, what happened to this guy? What happened to this guy?" The weird girls online, the ones that sit on Fresh and Fit, and they're talking about like, "Oh, this guy, he's insecure." Like, what I'm trying to say, like, bro, let a man improve, let a man become his best self. But no, there's gonna be people that are gonna be gossiping. There's gonna be people that are like, "Oh, this guy, what happened to this guy? He's so weird all of a sudden. He's so disciplined all of a sudden." People look at discipline weirdly, but 6 7 months later, the person that made a change, he's a completely different human being, and I am one of those people. In fact, I decided to cut all my old friends off, my entire friend list, my friend group. I cut them off. I stopped talking to them, and I felt bad. But I realized they were holding me back, and I realized these friends, even though I love these guys, I knew these guys for years. I knew that they were going on a different trajectory, which I didn't want to go to. I'll be honest with you. I've always been a freaking loser all my life. Okay, I've always been a person with with all the ambition but freaking lazy, and I've gotten so many bad results, and I hated where I was staying. I hated how weak I felt. I hated how insecure I was, how fat I was, how ugly I was, and I wanted to become my best freaking self. I was done being a weak, feminine person sitting in my room playing Fortnite for 13 hours a day. No, I wanted to become someone. And you know what? I'm not saying that I became that guy yet. No, no way. I'm not. I'm nowhere near there. But you know what I did become? I became someone who's almost unrecognizable to that version of myself 2 years ago. Absolutely unrecognizable. From my face shape, from the way I act, from the way I carry myself, my mindsets, what I like, what I don't like, how I speak to people, everything has changed. Every single thing has changed to the point where when I look back at some of my old pictures, I sometimes don't even, I forget that that was me. I look at that person as a completely different human being. Frick, man. All I wanted was a change in my life where I was just so disciplined, where I was just feeling like my strongest self, where I was just going hard on my self development journey. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I don't have bad days or anything, but I have definitely freaking improved. I've been going to the gym consistently. I've seen results in the gym. I've seen results. I made my own first money online, and I've seen so many different things with the permission of God. And now, on this day, July 14th, I'm making this 2025. Today's my birthday. I just turned 21. And I'm just so grateful that God put me on this journey. I'm so grateful that God allowed me to go through this. I swear, like, the path of excellence, bro, it's like you're gonna of course need to make the sacrifices. The path of excellence is you're gonna need to make the sacrifices that is required, and you have to literally look at your life and to look at whatever that's holding you back, and you have to say no, 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 no. That you have to just not give a crap. You literally have to say, no, no, no. I am not going to indulge in this and this and this. I'm not going to be and live these kinds of lives, because the type of people that play video games for 7 hours a day, the type of people that can't work hard, these people are mediocre, they're lazy, and they're weak. I'm tired of being lazy, mediocre, and weak. I want to be successful now. So if I want to be successful, I have to embody what a successful person does. If you want to make the biggest change in your life right now, you have to look at the good habits and you have to want to do them, not just think that you should do them. There's so many people that know they should be eating healthier food. There's so many people that know they should be going to the gym. There's so many people that know they should be sleeping 8 hours a day, 7 hours a day, that they know what they should be doing, but they still don't do them. Why? Because they associate negative emotions to such and such things. When I cut out sugar, it wasn't negative. I wanted to cut out sugar because I was done self sabotaging my mental health. I was done escaping into these things. I realize I have such an addictive personality. I'm one of these people that just want to self sabotage. I want to go, if I do a bad habit, I'm going to go down to the freaking depth. I'm not gonna name the bad habits, bro. Some of them are freaking disgusting. And I would just go down to the depths. You realize that most of us do our freaking bad habits and you don't even like them. You don't even, let's be honest, you don't even like playing video games that much. You don't even like, you hate watching porn. You freaking hate it. You literally sit at your bed crying or being just extremely just vulnerable and just like, why? And you're being extremely desperate to why you can't quit, these videos online. And that you don't like eating sugar because you feel like you see yourself in the freaking mirror and you see that you're constantly grabbing your flabby little fat love handles, and you're like, why, and you compare yourself to people in your school, people in your workplace, and you're just like, what the frick is happening to my life? And you don't even like doing the bad habits anymore. So the reason why you do these bad habits, there is an underlying reason why you're doing this crap in the first place. See, it's not because of the bad habit itself. You don't like it anyway. It's not that. It's become a thing in your brain that you have associated when you're feeling some level of stress, when you're wanting to feel some type of way, when you want to escape to the traumas that your younger self felt. You escape to these things because these provide you a safe space. The reason why people watch porn and these websites, bro, the reason why they go on Reddit and whatever, it's not just because they're just addicted to it. It's because there's an underlying value that they see inside these things. Even you might like literally value these videos online, even though you freaking hate it. There is a small value that is still giving you to your life that you're gonna escape to in the first. Like for example, escaping when you have stress, so you start watching that. You're like, oh, it's been a stressful day. Let me just wind down and watch that. All you want is female attention. All you want is feminine care. All you want is to be loved. All you want is to be seen. All you want is just to be taken care of. That's what you want. And you think that these videos online are gonna give you that. You may want to feel accomplished. You may want to feel successful, but you think that 10 hours of video games is gonna help you achieve that. If you want fully transform your life, you have to look at these habits, these good habits, and want to do them. You have to literally look at them like, okay, so there is healthy food in front of me. I'm gonna choose to eat healthy. I'm gonna choose to eat healthy food because that's what a successful top 1% man does. And I'm trying to be a successful top 1% man. Or you look at how this guy trains, and for example, Iman Godzi or Andrew Tate, he eats 1 meal per day, for example. Andrew Tate eats 1 meal per day and he eats at night, and there's many of his fans are copying that routine because they want to be someone like Andrew Tate. They want to resonate his mindset, his looks, his physique, his lifestyle, whatever, his masculinity. When you've been in pain like me and you and for so freaking long, when you've stayed weak and feminine and you've never been you were never seen, or you've never been valued in front of people, and when you've just been seen as a weakling for so long, and that held so much trauma, and you know that you're meant for more, and you know that you want to make the most out of this life, this is what should freaking push you to live and move away from the bad habits and just to get rid of them. There's a difference between starving yourself and moving on. When you're starving yourself, you want to eat. When you, for example, I was a freaking idiot. What I used to do is, when I tried losing weight because I was fat, and you saw the thumbnail, right? I was fat. And what I did to lose weight and I became extremely skinny, I ended up becoming skinny because I starved myself for like months. I would eat like 1,000 calories a day, even though the daily recommended limit is at least 2,000 or 2,500. And so I would be eating like 1,000 calories a day, and I lost like 5 kg in like 2 months, and it's just so unhealthy. I lost my muscle definition, I lost so many things, and I became extremely skinny, but I was starving myself. It was easy to gain that back. When these 40-year-old men or women on New Year's resolution, they make their New Year's resolution, they're like, you know what, I'm gonna lose the fat I've made, and right, they ate so much during the holidays, and then what happens? January comes, they're excited. February comes, no one's at the gym. They've quit on their diet. They quit on their lifestyle. Why? Because they're forcing themselves. They think that losing weight means not eating, only eating vegetables. They think it's only eating like freaking salads and like tuna, and they don't want to eat tuna. They don't want to eat salads, but they're forcing themselves. I gotta eat salad to lose weight. Oh my god. And then you wonder why they end up quitting. It's not the salad, it's your identity. You still associate a lot of pleasure to junk food, which is why you want to keep doing it. When you've associated pain to junk food, when you've associated the demise, your depression, your sadness, your weakness to junk food, you're not gonna want to eat junk food because there's more pain involved in that. You don't even see the pleasure anymore. The key to make a change is to look at your bad habits and be disgusted with them. Is to look at them and be like, what the frick, bro? That's not me. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be a lazy fat loser coming home from a 9 to 5 job that I hate, and now I'm here watching TV, and I'm gonna watch TV for 2 hours and then go to bed and then wake up for work, all sleep deprived, looking fat. My shirt barely fits me. Oh, quickly drink a coffee, okay, say goodbye to a wife that hates me, and go to work. Same cycle for most of the year. I don't want to be like that. It's all about pain and pleasure and hating what you want or what you should be hating. Humans move away from pain more than how if pleasure were to move someone. Humans would rather move when they have more pain than the pleasure associated to them. You're more likely to make a change when you've realized that the life you've been living is been freaking purposeless, has brought you no purpose, no happiness, and you don't even see yourself as strong anymore. That should move you so much faster than just like, oh, I want to be a Dubai millionaire, Lamborghini, Urus, Iman Ghazi, amazing people, by the way, but that's not gonna freaking move you. Sure, a Lamborghini Urus is cool, but there's nothing to it. It's just a freaking car. You can put any car in that instant. You can put a Toyota Corolla, you can put a Ferrari 812, doesn't freaking matter at that point. A car is just a car. I recommend in this video to realize that your freaking life that you've been living, and I want you to realize that it's the pains of that life, the problems of that life, what you've been living, bro. When you realize your freaking life, when you realize that your friends you've been just wasting all the time with your friends, going out, trying to chase girls when you've literally built nothing. When you realize that you're freaking broke. When you realize, and by the way, I'm not saying I'm rich. Okay, we're in the same boat. I'm in the same boat as you. And when you've realized that you're freaking weak and you don't have a physique and you're freaking ugly, when you realize all of this stuff, then you realize, okay, I gotta freaking make a change. And now the change is personal. It's not about, oh, I can't go to the gym. It's about, I am someone who freaking goes to the gym anyway, because that's what successful men do. That's what top 1% men do. That's what men who see themselves as strong, men who have a purpose do. A man, see, the gym isn't about a choice. The gym isn't a choice, okay? The gym, the moment the gym becomes a non-negotiable, it just becomes something part of your day. That's when you freaking change. If the gym has become literally something where you don't make a choice, of course, I'm not saying that you're not gonna miss days. You're gonna miss some days, but when you just go to the gym, it's part of your freaking routine. I had an uncle, and this uncle, he's like, very like his mindset is super like like the 9 to 5 freaking job, university, all that freaking BS. We know those are scams anyway. But this uncle was like, when you get old, and he was telling me, he's like, when you get older and you have a wife and everything, and he's like, yeah, you're not gonna be able to go to the gym anymore because you have a wife and you have kids. I'm like, what the frick, bro? I have freaking 24 hours in a day. You're telling me that I can't go to the gym for 45 minutes? But these are the people that invite me and you. Like, a lot of our family members are like that. They think like, oh, like they've accepted mediocrity themselves, so they think that's their only way of living. Bro, you have 24 hours in a day, 16 hours. If you get 8 hours of sleep, you have 16 hours, and you're telling me that I can't go to the gym? Who the frick cares if I have a wife, if I have a gorilla, if I have a freaking dog, if I have kids, if I have 10 kids, if I have 20 kids? I still have time for the gym. People have just chosen mediocrity out of their lives. They never want to become the most masculine and their best version of themselves. I feel competition when my parents talk about other like kids like my age and stuff. I feel competition about that. I'm like, bro, I want to prove them wrong. I want to be better than not better than them, like in terms of way of arrogance. Like, I don't care, but I just want to be like, I don't need to I want to be my best self. I don't want to look down on others as well. That's freaking retarded. Like, let people live the way they want to live. Okay, if they want to stay the way they are, let them stay the way they are. That doesn't freaking matter. But if you want to make a change, it's all of these things that I've mentioned. This is how you make a change. Look at your life, your bad habits as poison. Look at them like poison. Look at them as things that's destroying your masculinity. Look at these things as it's destroying your mental health. Look at these things as it's destroying your happiness and purpose. And look at the good habits as something that's part of your purpose. Look at the good habits as something that's improving you and making you your most best self every single day. It's not about, you know, getting the girls. It's not about, getting a bunch of, Tinder swipes. It's not about just making all the money, bro. It's about having a purpose behind everything. This is what you've been missing. You think it's the TikTok, the TikTok montages you see online where these 20-year-olds are flexing their Lamborghini in Dubai and flexing their cash and whatever, bro. You're not gonna get that if you don't fix your purpose, bro. If you don't fix your life and align yourself to a purpose and align yourself to wanting to be your best self, nothing's gonna work out. So yeah, I think I have nothing else to say. I think I'm fairly freaking done. Hopefully this benefited you, bro. I just literally these videos of mine, I just want to come on this, on camera and just speak my heart about the topic I want to speak about and give you the most value and help you become your freaking best self. I know how lost my old self was, and I know that I can give good advice to my old self because I know everything he's going through as of right now. I'm literally staring at him in the screen in front of me right now. Like there's a picture of my old self in front of me right now, and there's a screen right here. Like, and I'm just looking at this guy, my old self, and I don't know this guy. Like he's sleep deprived. He's ugly. He feels insecure. He's genuinely ugly. He knows it himself. This guy just finished playing video games. He didn't do anything the entire day, and he feels just a freaking side character. I can see him right now. It's time to make a change, bro. It's time to become your best self. Other than that, I love you. Follow me on my Instagram. First link down in the description down below. And I'll see you very soon, bro.